Introducing first a company to the ring.
Hello, Houston, Texas. Hot Stuff International would like to introduce to you tonight, already proclaimed the winners of the match. The greatest tag team in wrestling today, the tag team of the 80s. The original Masters of Disaster. I am very proud and honored to bring to you Rock and Steve, the Blade Runners.
So you heard the introduction of the Blade Runner, Rock and Sting by Eddie Hot Stuff Gilbert, as the fans here in the Coliseum get ready for the entrance of the team of Ted DiBiase and Steve, Dr. Death Williams. Jim Ross is here at ringside, and with the entrance of these two teams, we should expect a tremendous showdown.
Well, we certainly had, and this Friday night, you're going to see all four of the competitors in the tournament. Ted DiBiase is going to be going against Rock, the big Blade Runner. The blonde-head Blade Runner Sting will be going against Kamala. Dr. Death Sting Williams has Korchenko, the Russian. So all four of these men are in the tournament. And of course, this Friday night, we're all looking forward to it. Ticket sales are great. We hope everybody will join us. It's great to see Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death back together as we listen to Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA.
And you can hear thousands and thousands of Houston wrestling fans singing Born in the USA. Can you imagine what's going to happen with the tournament? The big tournament in professional wrestling history will be made this Friday night. The place to be is the Sam Houston Coliseum. You do not want to miss this history-making event. But up in the ring now, we've got Ted DiBiase, Steve Dr. Death Williams, the America's team, as they go up against the Blade Runners.
And ladies and gentlemen,
Now, Bruce Scott to finish the
their
introduction.
opponents at a combined weight of 548 pounds, reunited for the first time right here in Houston, Texas, the very popular tag team combination of Dr. Death Steve Williams and Ted DiBiase. One fall, 45-minute time limit.
So one fall, 45-minute time limit, and an excitement galore here in the Coliseum. And keep in mind, this Friday night, these four superstars do return to action in that tournament that's going to make professional wrestling history right here in the Sam Houston Coliseum. Starting off the match, Ted DiBiase, as he goes up against Sting, four powerful individuals.
Oh, most certainly, Pete. And I think, you know, Ted DiBiase's forte has never been his brawn, even though he is a big, strong man. He's a technician. He'll analyze, and he'll move at the right time. And I think that Sting obviously has the advantage in strength. But wait till Ted DiBiase gets untracked a little bit. And Sting, of course, is going to be going against Kamala Friday night. Ted DiBiase going against Sting's partner, Rock. You can't really say enough about Friday night's big tournament. It's going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal night. I'm certainly looking forward to being here.
Well, you know, Ken Mantell, the man in charge of the seating of the entrance, has done a terrific job in the first pairings. The first round could tell a lot about what's going to take place in that tournament.
Oh, most certainly. And I tell you, this match right here has a big bearing on the tournament. We're less than a week away. Nobody wants an injury. Everybody wants to come into the thing healthy Friday night. But you got these four men, as I said, are all deeply involved in the tournament. They want to stay healthy, but more importantly, DiBiase and Doc want to reestablish themselves as a preeminent force in tag team wrestling. And the Blade Runners have yet to taste defeat on television as far as the tag team is concerned.
That's a very good point. No one's been able to stop the Blade Runners, but this is the first time they've run up against Ted DiBiase and Steve Dr. Death Williams. As DiBiase and Dr. Death have displayed through the months their great tag team combination. Blade Runners, they're devastating. They're powerful. They have an unorthodox style that is outright dangerous inside the ropes. But DiBiase and Dr. Death, they don't take a back step to anybody.
Well, you know, a lot of people compare the Blade Runners to the Road Warriors, and the Road Warriors were very young in their career. I really think that there is a great deal of similarity between those two teams, with the exception that perhaps the Blade Runners might be a little bit more mobile at this stage of their career.
So Sting missed, but Ted DiBiase did. And look at that big Ted DiBiase get high in the air with those drop kicks. Now that hip flip as DiBiase displaying his wrestling ability. So Ted DiBiase showing Houston wrestling fans he's ready to do battle. Last minute strategy talk there.
Well, Eddie Gilbert is a fine athlete in his own right and a very good wrestler. There's no doubt about that. I think he's been a positive influence in the Blade Runner's career, as far as I've seen him improve a great deal over the first time that I saw them in the squared circle. But they're in there with a master. There's nobody better in compiling a game plan and following it through and executing it as Ted DiBiase. And so Rock on the outside, who we have not seen, is getting a first-hand scouting report of Ted DiBiase. That's the man he'll be facing Friday night.
Hook up referee's position. That's where strength comes in, leverage, wrestling know-how, and then Sting snapped that side headlock on DiBiase. I had the good fortune of being in New Orleans, a Superdome, for that tremendous tag team tournament that took place on the auspices of the Universal Wrestling Federation. That was a night and a day of wrestling action I will never forget. The fans who were there will say the same thing. They came from all over, and we are urging people from all over who are able to hear this telecast to make their plans. It's a holiday weekend to come into Houston, Texas, and be at this tournament. It's going to be a night of wrestling action they will never forget.
Well, you know, I made a comment a few weeks ago to Paul that I think it's a tribute to you and to Paul Bosch for your affection of the fans, your love affair with the great fans of Houston, that the ticket prices were not raised. The ticket prices were left the normal ticket prices. There's a price on the scale that everybody can afford, and I know that just already from the people that I've talked with, most of the people here this evening have said, well, we've got our tickets, we're making plans to buy our tickets. People from all over the country are calling our office wanting ticket information, so I think you're going to see a record-setting crowd on May 30th.
Ted DiBiase with a beautiful drop kick. Ted DiBiase, so big, so agile, is one reason why he has got to be a big favorite in the tournament. He's a big favorite with Houston wrestling fans, and Dr. Ted DiBiase has done a high 10, and the Blade Runners are running up against a team that's trying to put a stop to them. They rampage through all opposition.
And very easily, I might add, and it really seems that they're getting very, very frustrated, Pete, in this tag team matchup, because the Blade Runners are an awesome force. And now Sting has said, well, you try it a while. Here comes Rock, and he is going against a human Rock and Dr. Steve Williams. I don't think on any wrestling program in the country you'll find two better conditioned athletes than you see right in the ring right now, Rock and Dr. Steve Williams.
A lot of power, awesome power in that ring right now. Rock, mighty powerful, and proud of that power that he possesses. Dr. Williams. Dr. Death is one of those unique strongmen who has been able to incorporate it into his wrestling attack. He's very quick. He's got the coordination. He's got that strength. He's got all the potential, as Dr. Death has got to be another big favorite to take it all in the tournament.
Well, I tell you, Dr. Death reminds me of the president of the UWF, Cowboy Bill Watts, who, in my opinion, was the toughest wrestler ever to step in the squared circle, holding the North American title for 9 years. That's quite a feat in itself. But Dr. Death reminds me so much of Bill Watts, Bill's early career. I've seen film of him. Dr. Death is a phenomenal athlete.
And you watch a football block is, and that's one reason why he was an All-American at University of Oklahoma, and one reason that the Blade Runners are going up against one of the top tag teams in the country. Dr. Williams, Ted DiBiase have to be one of the best tag team combinations in the wrestling world anywhere on the globe.
Anywhere in the country, you can ask anybody, you can look at any magazine, any television program, and the commentators, the analysts will tell you that DiBiase and Williams are as good a tag team combination as in the wrestling world today. I think we're seeing that right here. It's great to see them back here in action. Of course, next week they're going to be in single competition. But whether it be in tags or in single competition, Williams and DiBiase are both premier athletes in pro wrestling today. I can't wait Friday night to see DiBiase and this big muscle man lock up, because it's going to be the matchup of contrasting styles, whereas you've got Williams and Rock are very similar in style. They both use a lot of power, a lot of strength moves to wear their opponents down.
Your referee for this match is Carl Fergie, and right now we've got Dr. Death slapping that side headlock on. Dr. Death holding on, because when you hold on to someone as big and strong as Rock, you don't want to let him go. Shoulder block again, and Dr. Death knows how to use every single pound of his huge body and how to send down his opponents, knock them down.
I'll tell you what, Pete, I've been officiating football on high school and college level for 15 years now, and I refereed the spring game at Oklahoma University a couple of years. I've never seen a straight-ahead blocker any more awesome than Steve Williams on any level of football. He was a phenomenal run block, because OU ran the wishbone. He was as good a straight-ahead blocker as I've ever seen. Oh! And Steve, here's Eddie Gilbert getting involved in this situation. And now they've turned the table on Dr. Death, because Steve really buried the knee in the kidney area of Williams.
Well, that's one of the reasons why the Blade Runners are so dangerous, because you've got to know they contend with their power and their devastating style. You've got Eddie Hot Stuff Gilbert outside the ring. As pointed out, Hot Stuff Gilbert's move, his maneuver, is what's turned the tide of this match. It was all Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase up until Hot Stuff Gilbert interfered.
Well, the thing about it, too, Pete, is that, without a doubt, Gilbert is the brains behind this team. I understand he will be at ringside for both of his men's matches Friday night. What I'd like to know, and what I'm looking forward to finding out, is will the other Blade Runner be at ringside? Because if the Blade Runner and Gilbert are at ringside during the tournament, then Ted DiBiase and Kamala, for that matter, will both have something else to concern themselves with. I don't know if Kamala can think that way, but it's something to consider.
Rock now, reverse headlock. Now this is a tight hold. It's a punishing hold, but somebody with the awesome strength of Rock could squeeze his opponent right into a victory. Calls him to submit.
I also had another thought, Pete, that when Kamala wrestles Sting in the tournament next Friday night, you'll have General Skandar Akbar on the floor in one corner and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert on the floor in the other corner. We've seen them both on our television program in informal negotiation. I wonder how that's going to be. You know, $100,000 has a way of changing a lot of allegiances. That's going to be an interesting situation with Gilbert and Akbar both at ringside.
Well, that's one of the unique aspects of a tournament, a one-night single elimination tournament, is not only the tremendous pairings that you have and super main events,
10 minutes expired, 10 minutes.
but you can also let your imagination go wild, because that's usually what happens in a tournament. Anything can bust loose, and usually does when there's $100,000 on the line. Dr. Death now thrown into that turnbuckle by the strength of both Blade Runners, as they're doing their best to try to reestablish the fact that they feel they are the best tag team in the country today. Sting setting up a high in the air, comes down that guillotine elbow, aims with that fist right on the bridge of the nose of Dr. Death. We've got Sting on top. We've got 2, but no 3, as Dr. Death again displays that ability to take a lot of punishment as well as give it out. Both men collided head-on.
It's quite a collision there. Williams has got to get the tag. Doc's in great condition, but the Blade Runners have been tagging in and out very quickly, and they have kept the match in their part of the ring. Dr. Death, and no disrespect is meant, I'll guarantee you, because I respect the man immensely, but he needs to make the tag and get DiBiase, the fresh man, in the ring.
Now the fans start to clap, and they start to chant, OU, OU, OU. That's got to be a first here in Houston, Texas.
I can't believe that one. I've been here many times, sitting here at ringside and deep in the heart of Texas. Darryl Royal and Freddie Akers, I'm sure, would run right back to Austin if they were here tonight.
But I think what Houston wrestling fans are showing is that they want to give their support to Dr. Death. They respect his ability at the University of Oklahoma. And many times, that's the best respect you can earn, is when For 4 years, Steve Dr. Williams was a menace to the University of Texas, but now he's a big favorite to Texas wrestling fans. That time, Dr. Death was trying to send Sting 5 rows deep at ringside. Defeat that charging Oklahoma Stampede, and we got Rock on top. We got 2, but no 3. 10 minutes are gone by in this match. Good, solid match between 4 top-conditioned athletes. And as Rock misses, Dr. Death trying to take this opportunity to tag Ted DiBiase. The tag is made, and in comes DiBiase. And DiBiase knows exactly what to do once he gets inside that ring. DiBiase can literally explode. And that's what he's doing right now. First he sends Sting to the mat. Then he slugs the Rock. And as they're setting them up, Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase unleashing their exciting attack. And we've got everything busting loose as Carl Fergie trying his best to regain some kind of control. DiBiase with a good switch. On the end, hot stuff Gilbert now. Drop kicks, but DiBiase run him over. We got 3, and we've got Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase. Once again shows that ring savvy that's so important. He saw